My next one is at what time serverless stops making sense? I mean, not just cost wise or process length, but in terms of a paradigm or logic.
The thing is, I think you know when the time comes. Like, so for example, let's say you don't have any customers, right? You got a new project, no customers, no traffic. Your team is just kind of building out the idea. And at that point, you probably want to invest in infrastructure as little as possible so you can get to the point where this thing is ready for like customers or to be used by someone. And so let's just do something concrete. Let's go back to like a catalog service. What songs do you have? And then how long are the songs? What's the artwork? Who the artist is? Let's say that's the app you're building. So if it was me, I'm like, okay, let's just put all the songs in an S3 bucket. I don't know, we got 100 songs, put them in S3 bucket. And then we're going to expose metadata about those songs through an API. And if we're on Amazon, maybe we use Amazon Lambda. Maybe you like containers, so you go with App Runner or ECS. Doesn't matter. You just try to pick the one that's not going to demand so much of your time. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to go make a very simple CI/CD process. Check in the code, build binary, and we just put it to Lambda, update the URL, and we're done, right? And you just keep working on the code, okay? Now you start to get some customers. People are like, hey, we like that service, and we want to use it. And you look at it, and it's like, I don't know, 1 request per second. It doesn't matter at this point what you picked. If you're doing this with Lambda, it's going to be fine. It actually even may be cheaper, 1 request per second, just to use Lambda. You can actually just do the math. 1 request per second times the pricing for Lambda, link to the transaction. Here's exactly what it costs. Leave it alone. You're done. Now, the same people want you to actually compress the song when you upload it to the catalog. And you find out that Lambda gets really expensive if the thing sticks around for a long time. The unit price for CPU time is way out of whack compared to a VM. So now you're at the crossroad as a team. You say, look, Lambda got us real far for the majority of this service. Now, the part where people upload music to us to the new catalog and they want us to compress it into 5 different pieces, how should we do it? You know, you might say, you know what, we can keep using Lambda to take the request, stick it in the message queue, and use a VM to do the actual compression. So yeah, you know what, that's smart. So we keep using Lambda as a front end, no need to change all of that. We can re-architect the request and then use a background VM to do the long running compression work. No problem. So in that case, it's serverless and a VM for parts of it. Now you might get to a point where the cost structure starts to be like, look, if we're going to maintain all these VMs, we might as well just move it all to VMs. And that might actually be the right decisions, but I think as an engineer, you should be able to craft that math and say, you know what, this can totally work, because we're really just talking about how this thing gets invoked and how it runs. So that's the way I would do it. So I don't think there's like this, always start with serverless. I think having an app that could run serverless is to me, a sign of good design. Like our business logic is broken up in a modular way, like we talked about earlier, that I can import that business logic in a Lambda function, use a Lambda wrapper to, bring in the requests, deconstruct it and call it the same business logic. But then when the time comes, I can take the same business logic and put it behind a normal, always running web server and still have it work. I think that's actually pretty good design. So make sure that your app can work in both worlds. And if you're going to close one off, there should be a real concrete engineering reason why we never want this to work in a serverless environment.
Nice. Yeah, it's like not burning the bridge. Keep the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I think good architecture allows you to have as many bridges as you need.